My husband had to go to Germany for a business trip. He was gone only 2 days when he kept telling me he missed me and wanted me to join him. As soon as I got there, he wanted to have sex, which we did. I was tired from my journey and he had work to do, so he suggested I take a nap and we would have dinner together later. We never had dinner and he completely ignored me for the remainder of the 6 days we were there except for when he wanted to have sex. I felt awful, and on the 5th day, when he tried to initiate sex we had a huge fight, because I told him he was making me feel like a WH_**RE. He told me having sex with your husband didn't make somebody a WH_**RE, and that this wasn't a vacation and I knew he was busy with work, so he couldn't be available to entertain me. He told me he would arrange for me to be taken out the next day, and I got even more upset, because I didn't want to be taken out by somebody else. I wanted him to spend 10 minutes with me outside of the bedroom or to have dinner with me, which I don't think is unreasonable. His solution was to tell me he would take me on vacation anywhere I wanted once his business trip was over, but I told him I just wanted to go home. Now that we're home, I'm still upset that he made me go to Germany just for sex. When I told my friend, she told me I should just drop it because he flew me to him instead of cheating like most men would do in his position. In the entire 4 years we've been married, he's never treated me like this before, and I don't want to ever feel the way I felt in Germany again. I'm not sure if I should bring it up again because he made it clear he thought I was being ridiculous the first time, or if I'm overreacting since this was a one-time thing. Any advice on what I should do? TL. Doctor, my husband asked me to come to Germany just for him to ignore me outside of when he wanted to have sex with me. His excuse was that it was a business trip and not a vacation, but it made me feel like a WH_**RE. I'm still upset, but I don't know if I should bring it up again or how to make him understand how crap I felt. I feel like this small interaction implies a whole lot, that being that he is high income earning while you are not. What did you do with your time in Germany while he was conducting business? What do you do with your time back at home? Does he always expect you to be sitting around, available at the drop of a hat? If it's not a pattern of behavior already, you've got to do everything you can to have stuff going on in your life so that it doesn't turn into a pattern. It's probably not something he's doing intentionally, but just this once he thought of you as an accessory to his life. You've got to see yourself as your own main character. My husband brings me with him to his business trips too. He is usually very sweet and attentive, but during these trips, our interactions are similar, more sex and less cuddles, but I think the difference is my expectation is set, so I don't feel bad. He really is very busy on these trips and more stressed than usual, so I don't mind that he uses our time together to blow off steam. I usually just explore a little of the place on my own when he's in his meetings and attend a few dinners with people he works with. Then when we get back home and the additional pressure of work is gone, he's back to his sweet, attentive ways. Next time when joining him on a business trip, make sure you discuss what to expect. Plan for short sightseeing trips when you know he will be working, and don't be stuck to the itinerary you make too much. Be extra flexible to his schedule for that time. It's weird to fly you out for this. That being said, flyaway business trips have always been incredibly busy for me. Busy as in not a moment to lose. I never stopped working to eat, unless it was business dinners with associates. For that reason alone I wouldn't ever have flown my husband out. Has he ever been on a trip like this before? Was this trip particularly stressful or busy? Did he expect to have time to take you out before flying you out but ultimately never have time? What did he say when you got back home after the trip and things settled down enough to talk about them? WTF. Okay, so what would he do outside of going to work-related obligations and have sex with you? Did you both sit together in the room and watch movies? Did you order in and eat together? Did you go for any walks or explore the hotel together? Did you laugh or talk about your days? Or did he just go to an opposite corner of the hotel room and turn his back to you and not talk until he wanted sex again? Like, I'm having trouble understanding what you mean by him having you there only for sex. He worked the entire time, so we never did any of those, including eat together. He was gone from early morning to late at night, and when he came back he would tell me he needed to get some more work done. Usually he would eat dinner before coming back, but the one time he hadn't we still never ate together because he wouldn't stop working when the food arrived and I was too hungry to wait. Pretty much our only interactions involved sex, or for him to inform me he had work to do and or would be gone most of the day. Your friend suggesting that he did nothing wrong simply because he didn't cheat is not a good look. I mean, I'd go out and have fun myself, see the sights, get some bratwurst, but I have friends I can visit in Germany, so your mileage may vary. When I told my friend, she told me I should just drop it because he flew me to him instead of cheating like most men would do in his position. Your friend has a warped view of men. Yeah, her bar is real low. It sounds like he was working on a work trip and the extent of work involved wasn't clearly communicated between you two. Personally, I'd focus on better communication and in the future still join on said trips, but do my own thing and sightsee while he works. Yes, it's a business trip for him, but it's a vacation for you. Also, please don't rely on this girlfriend of yours for advice in your marriage. She's bringing baggage in her viewpoint. What is your relationship like at home when he is working? How do you set time aside for each other so that you have never felt this way before? The meal thing is what gets me. Everyone has to eat. You came all that way, so why not have some meals together and discuss what is going on with his work? Why does it matter that you were in Germany versus home is my question, but perhaps a better question for him considering he was the one to invite you out, fly you over, and ask you to disrupt your life for his. Because there are business meals you are expected to attend with clients. He was wrong for how he acted. I would cut him a little slack. Maybe when he got there he missed you a whole bunch, but didn't consider how little time he had and how boring it would be for you. He should have considered your feelings more when you brought them up. Bring it up gently to him. Maybe consider telling him what his expectations are in advance before you fly out, or how busy he is, and if he has time to actually hang out. Just advice. It just seems telling that he had time for sex twice, but apparently literally no time for anything else. Next trip, tell him either one of two things. 1. Yes, but expect the same behavior. But this time go out sightseeing during the day and scout out good places to eat. Tell him that there will be no dessert /*x until you two go out for dinner too. No, then inform him you packed him some lotion and Kleenex for his stress. I don't really agree with sex being used as a weapon or as a way to manipulate your partner into getting what you want. Op needs to sit her husband down and get straight answers as to why he doesn't even have time for a simple meal. Everyone can make at least a free hour somewhere in their day. There are no excuses. He needs to learn to prioritize his time better and to understand that his work shouldn't take precedence over his family and health. Since Op isn't saying what she did during the day, it sounds like she didn't get out and explore the sights. You wouldn't be so upset about just seeing him in the evening for sex if you had had some adventures of your own during the day. You flew all the way there and assumed you would see him for just a small amount of time, right? It's a business trip. I travel for business, and when it's overseas especially, you don't have time to do things unless you extend your trip to vacation. From her comments it sounds like he pretty much ignored her entirely but conveniently had enough time for sex. Like not even asking talk about their days at the end of the night or even sharing one meal together. Who knows if this story is real or not. BC, it's a throwaway account with zero history, but my mother traveled often with my father growing up while he traveled for work. He was busy most of the time and she did her own thing. It was an opportunity for them to still spend nights together in a foreign country and for her to be able to explore on her own during the day. This is a work trip and not a vacation for the two of you. Except by the Op's description they literally did not spend any time together other than when he wanted to fuck. Your parents' situation is not the same. If it bothered you then you need to talk to him about it. Try not to accuse him of anything but lay out how it made you feel and how you want to make sure you don't feel that way again. Focus your comments on you, which will hopefully make him less defensive and better able to hear you. My wife occasionally joins me on overseas conferences. We do have a late night snack or tea in the evening. She tells me about her adventures in the city. Being away from your support system under stressful circumstances is tough. Having your spouse is reassuring. I find it strange that you didn't mention your own time going on walks and to the museum or going to workshops. You need to develop your own interests. Looking for salvation in others is a task that develops unfulfillment. Question: has he gone on week-long or 2-week business trips before and you weren't there? If so, were you able to reach him at all, or was he working a lot? Why on earth did you not ask him why he was ignoring you when he started doing it? Leave it alone, since it's a one-time thing, as long as he's treating you right and giving you attention while you're at home, and let him take you on that vacation. My thoughts exactly. This basically boils down to him having one super busy week at work. People are going way overboard with this. You both just need to be more clear on communicating your expectations from the beginning if something like this happens again. Rich people problems. I mean, I'd go out and have fun myself, see the sights, get some bratwurst, but I have friends I can visit in Germany, so your mileage may vary. I'm going to go against the grain here and say that if I know my husband is a high/main income earner, but he flew me out to a different country while he's at work, but he'd rather be intimate with me rather than someone else, and he gives me the opportunity to explore however and wherever I want, that sounds amazing to me. I feel that though, that you aren't being honest when you're voicing your concerns or you're not giving enough info. He sounds like he's trying to accommodate you while you're there while he's working. Would you have rather that he didn't fly you out? Right, what did she expect? She probably would complained if he didn't want sex at all once she was there. Sounds like shitty communication. I'm sorry, but you're acting like a child. Perhaps sex is an emotional connection for your husband. Get a grip. Well, I wouldn't have mind if I were you, lol. Fly to Germany for sex only? Hell yeah. See Germany for fun. Maybe you aren't so busy. I'm really busy with work too, so I'd rather just have a quick sex than please leave me alone. I have to work. Honestly, sounds like a fun trip. I'd sightsee during the day, read, watch movies, and sex with hubby each night. Dream trip. But maybe I'm saying that because I have 2 little kids and barely any sex happening, lol. Just curious, where are you from, op? I would be very highly suspicious that there is someone at his work trying to seduce him, and that is why he flew you in. Hopefully there are other people here to validate you, but I genuinely don't see this as a problem. It should never be the normal, but it genuinely sounds like he has a good excuse. There usually isn't very much spare time in a business trip, and if this is something you're having a hard time understanding, I will gladly take your place. It sounds like he spoils you. It sounds like there was a major miscommunication about him asking you to Germany. He probably wanted your love and comfort during his business trip and probably assumed you would amuse yourself while there. I don't think he thought it through past you being there. The sex sounds like he was using it as a stress reliever during this period, which added to you feeling ignored. I wouldn't ignore what happened, but I would not make it a major fight either. It is an issue simply to be discussed. If you want to join him in the future, I think it should be on the understanding that it's more or less a solo trip for you. Talk to a therapist is my opinion. Other than that, try not to bring it up, might make things worse for you. Leave without telling him and make him think about what he did to you. How do you get along and communicate at home? Sounds like he was pretty inconsiderate in this instance, but without knowing anything but what you've said here, I'd guess he was hoping you'd be able to entertain yourself to a degree too. It seems from your description like you were there 100% to spend time with him and not at all for yourself. Could you have taken advantage of the fact that it's a free trip to Germany and just be a tourist on your own? See sights, sit at a cafe, people watch, and treat it like a solo trip while he was working?